When it comes to memories, good, bad, or indifferent, you can use the lessons you learn to power yourself through life and carry on, my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. You won't cry no more. Or you can let those memories consume you, drag you down, and basically hold you back to the point that you will never ever get away from them. Such is the case with Landlock, written and directed by Paul Owens, who did the Penny Arcade series as well as the Double Fine Adventure series. And this stars Paul Owens and various other members of the Owens family. It's an all-family adventure with home movies and a camera that can see into the past. And you have the dad, played by Jeffrey Owens, Mason, who plays Mason Owens, Paul, who plays Paul Owens, and Seth, who plays Seth Owens. So basically, as far as typecasting goes, this is pretty much about as typecasted as you can get. This is an independent horror drama, sci-fi-ish, psychological drama that was filmed between 2014 and 2018, apparently, according to, well, the credits and according to IMDb postings and everything. And yes, the family, they're fictionalized versions of themselves. The family home is going to be torn down, and Mason, who has a bit of a relationship with his family members, but also seems a little bit strained. He is at the family home before it's demolished. He looks through, the basement, looks through the cupboards and finds home movies, finds a camera that can see into the past that uses home movies from the actual Owens' library. And from there, we have a movie that basically looks into the past and is about reflecting and finding out, like, hey, this is where I grew up, or, oh, I remember this, or, oh, what the hell's going on here? There's some weird shit happening here, and how is this camera able to see into the past? What is going on? And oh my goodness, something really, really weird is happening now about halfway through the movie. And from there, for the nearly 75-minute runtime, we have something that really feels like a short film concept, but does have a little bit of good atmosphere. And as far as a labor of love, a personal project, I can respect what Paul Owens did here. As far as a movie, I will say that it is kind of bare bones. There's a little bit of personal grief and everything and stuff that's implemented into the screenplay and implement into the acting, especially when it comes to Mason, who's the driving force behind the film. I mean, as far as a character, other characters pop up, other brothers, and we see what happened to the dad, how the dad's health kind of took a downturn. I will say, though, again, as far as a movie, this could have worked basically just as part of an anthology, because even at 74, 75 minutes, it feels a little bit stretched out. There are a few cool moments, and I will be getting into spoilers in just a little bit. But it's not bad. It's not something I'm going to necessarily remember, something that's going to stick with me. But as far as spending a few bucks on Amazon, it's a way to support independent filmmakers, that is, and people that are trying different things. I can't fault them for that. It does have that found footage feel to it, since it's literally found footage. And while there are times behind the camera and times where you're staring right at Mason, and in this case, staring really right at Mason, there are a few cool moments and a few decent things, but it's not necessarily something you need to go out of your way to see. Did I hate it? No. Did I love it? No. Did I like it? Sort of. It was fine. It was fine. I can appreciate what they did. And losing a family member or dealing with personal loss, losing a family home, a lot of memories can flood back. I can identify with the fact that just about 5-6 miles from my house, my grandparents, whose house I used to visit a whole lot, the house where my mom grew up in, along with her various siblings, I remember that house to an extent as far as the layout and having memories there, even though I was a kid, and even though by the time we got to the mid-90s, my grandfather, who had lost my grandmother, was in and out of retirement homes, basically, because it's not that the family didn't love him, but there's no way that anybody could take care of him. He needed medical help. Unfortunately, my grandfather was well off where he could do that, even if he didn't want to, and that kind of personal loss really affected him. That's just a little bit of a side story as far as I understand what losing a home that meant so much to you can mean. You have a lot of memories there. That's how I felt about a house that used to be where this one stands now. Like, I remember a few things that happened there. So, yeah, as far as losing a family home, it can mean quite a bit. And that the movie handles that well. Other than that, there really isn't anything else that I need to add. Again, decent atmosphere. The acting is fine. It's fine for what it is. So yeah, let's just get into spoilers here. Spoilers will not take very long. Literally will not. 3, 2, 1. It's on Amazon if you want to check it out. It's for a few bucks. Supports independent artists. Spoilers! Okay, so Mason has his camera that sees into the past. There's weird turkeys around the yard. He has a brother that is trying to fix up a car before the house gets torn down. And also there's weird stuff going on. Weird haunted images. And one of the videos, the dad is poking at something in the ceiling. You gotta poke it with a stick. And there's this weird metal scraping thing going on. What the hell's going on? About 50 minutes into the movie, suddenly there's a charred corpse that shows up that grabs one of the tapes with this weird setup of all these electronics. It was like, I don't know, dad was a security guard in a previous life and just stole all this. Electronics from 1975 to 1980 as far as how it looks. And Mason is dealing with the fact that his dad passed. These are my interpretations of this movie because the movie doesn't give you a lot to go on. I just want to say that right here. And there's a weird charred corpse. Mason's losing it. He sees a video about how his dad passed away, and then sees a video of his dad, or his dad almost passed away. He suffered a cardiac issue and was dealing with talking to one of the sons about, when Mason was born, it was great. We got a lot of footage of him and everything, and now he's reflecting on that. And then for some reason, the camera ends up smoking. I don't understand why. The camera ends up having issues. Mason goes to bury it. But then there's stuff in the camera, like, ground, stuff from the ground. Well, yeah, you just tried to bury it. And the dad basically reflects on that. Mason crawls through the vents and everything to get to this basement area, this crawl space, or this shelter that the dad apparently had, where the dad's watching movies, but the dad's dead, so Mason's going to be dead because the house gets torn down, and that's it. Again, these are just my interpretations of these particular events, because I'm not actually totally sure if I got that right, but that's the way I interpreted it. That being said, it isn't bad. It's not something that I'm going to put on my best or worst list. C-. It has a couple decent things. It's not necessarily my favorite, but I can appreciate it being a personal project. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.